Welcome everyone. Welcome to Feldenkrais ABC, and this is your first audio, an introduction to the Feldenkrais method. The founder was Moshe Feldenkrais, but we won't go into the whole background. So this audio is to give you an introduction to the method and some of the criteria that we use in this awareness through movement. So for this practice, if you have a chair available to you that you could sit on rather than sit in, so something with a reasonably firm surface, and a simple chair or stool that you could have your feet on the floor. And so if you've got a seat that's a little too high, you could put books under your feet. So if you could set that up, just pause the audio if you need to set that up, and then we'll begin in a moment. So Feldenkrais ABC, with A standing for awareness and attention, B for your breath, and C for your contact. So just begin by standing, and if you're looking at the screen, look somewhere else. So if you're inside, maybe gaze out a window if you've got a window available, or look to the wall on the other side of the room, or a nice painting or a vase or something like that to begin with. And begin noticing the contact with your supporting surface, with the floor. Notice your 2 feet, your right foot and your left foot, and see whether there are any differences, whether you feel one foot is closer to the floor, or has more contact or a clearer contact, or it might make more sense to notice whether there's more weight going through your right leg or your left leg, or whether you feel more support coming up through the ground, through your right foot or your left foot. And so wherever you are, you might be listening to this outside, out in nature as well, that's fine. So notice your contact, and which foot do you feel clearer contact with? And so take your attention now to the foot you feel has clearer contact. And if you're not sure, just choose one foot. And then see if you could attend to the contact under that foot. So is there more contact towards the heel, the ball of the foot? Is there more contact through the outside border for you, or the inside border? And then take your attention, when you're ready, take your attention to your other foot and compare the 2 feet. So notice whether there's more contact through the inside border or the outside border of your other foot, and whether there's more contact through the heel of that foot or towards the forefoot, the ball of the foot or the toes. And then begin to notice your breath, the movements of your breath. And see whether you have movement along the front of you, your chest or your belly. Is there more movement in your chest or more movement in your belly? And if you like, you could put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly to feel that. For some people that helps to feel the breath. And then notice your right side and see whether there's any movement along the right side of your ribs or your waist. Is there more movement under your armpit or more towards your waist, the lower ribs? Again, you could use hand contact to help you sense that. And then take your attention to the left side of your ribs, from your armpit down to your waist. And again, check the movement. So is there more movement along your left side or along your right side? And then the back of you, back behind you. Notice any movements of your breath at the back of you. And then begin taking a walk around the room, noticing the contact of your 2 feet. And noticing the movements of your breath as you walk around the room, eyes open, or as you're walking around the space, if you find yourself outside listening to this. And begin noticing where your gaze goes. And find a place or an object that your eyes want to rest on for a moment. Again, notice your breath, the contact you have with your supporting surface. And again, walk around and take your gaze to another place or another object. So it might be a painting on the wall, or a lamp in the room, or a tree if you're outside or looking out the window. And then come to sit on your chair. If you have a chair set up, you could sit on the ground if you're outside, or on a mat on the floor, but a chair with your feet resting on the floor would be the most comfortable way. So in the Feldenkrais method, we're having conversations with our nervous system and balancing our nervous system. So we want to be in as much comfort and ease as we can during that process. So if it's tricky for you to sit cross-legged, that's going to cause tightness or pain, and you don't have a chair, just continue standing. So if we go into any position that's uncomfortable, all our attention will go to the discomfort, and we won't have a clear communication with our nervous system. So find yourself on your chair if that's possible, and notice the contact again with your supporting surface. So what contact do you have? Can you feel your sit bones on the chair, the bottom of your pelvis? There are 2 round bones, and just see if one sit bone is closer to the chair than the other, or again if there's more weight through one sit bone than the other. And please take time to again use your hands. Put one hand under one buttock or one cheek and see if you can feel the angle of your sits bone at the bottom of your pelvis. See how clear that is. So just one side at a time. So maybe go to the right side first if that's comfortable. Just feel how clear that is, and then go to the left side. Take the right hand out and put your left hand under your left buttock, and see if one sit bone is clearer than the other. And notice if you have some contact on your feet as well. And just see what it's like to sit and rest like this, sitting on your sit bones. Again, you could take your gaze around the room to an object that your eyes want to rest on, and notice the movements of your breath, and then notice your state, your emotional state and your mental state. That's great. So this is the first of the Feldenkrais practices. Please feel free to come back to this at any time, and you can use this method to reset your nervous system at any time during your day. You could take a pause if you're waiting for a bus or a train. Just notice your contact, the movements of your breath, and where your attention is, your emotional state. And just taking a few minutes in your day to reset your nervous system can have really profound effects. Doing this before you sleep, before you go to bed at night, is also another great thing to do for a good night's sleep. Thank you, and look forward to joining you for the next audio.